Okay, and welcome back to Higher Density Living. We want to talk about some of the revelations that were recorded in the Billy Meier material from the Plejaren.
This is cool.
And it's really fucking edgy. So just forewarning for everybody.
Aliens.
You're going to be like, what the heck is going on? And there's about 80 of these, and we're going to go one by one, and we'll just do episodes, and we'll talk about everything we got to talk about here. Okay, here's number one.
Ooh,
they all come with citations.
Right into this.
Yeah, we're just going to go nuts here. All right, this is their very first. Everybody chill out. Earth needs an absolute birth suspension followed by permanent birth control measures to reduce overpopulation.
So this is aliens telling us that we need to chill.
Their calculation is that for every 12 square meters of space,
right,
of a forest, of arable land, can support one human being. So their calculation for Earth, they said if you want nature to just be free on its own and respect it, you got to be around 550 million people.
Wow, that's a huge... But you have to be careful because you can't impose on people's free will.
Yeah,
so there needs to be education.
Thank you. Yeah,
that would
you can't
solve
just
that
like
problem.
Bill Gates everybody and just shoot them all.
No, yeah. No pun intended.
Oh, gosh.
He's getting a divorce. That was crazy.
Yeah.
28 years of marriage, 27 years? Wow.
Something doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. The organization started by Billy Edward Albert Meier, FIGU, means Freedom International Group Unified or something like that. Is not directed towards destroying religion, sex, faith. They live by the rule of tolerance and refrain from proselytizing.
Yeah, so it's the same as like proselytizing, like in the sense of like going out and
Jehovah's
evangelizing.
Witness.
Yeah,
they don't Jehovah's
soliciting
Witness.
people. Yeah,
they don't try to destroy people. They just try to make them aware.
Tolerance. Yeah,
yeah, they try to make them aware of what's going on. Right, a lot of people are just completely intolerant to everything. Religions are intolerant towards one another.
Yeah, and now you have this new woke culture and this far right fascism that's going on.
Yep, cancel culture,
and all that stuff on both sides, the left and the right, and they're extremely intolerant.
Zero tolerance.
If you're into anything that is intolerant, you need to get out.
Yeah, get out of the intolerance. You're gonna love this one. The truth is humans must always bear their own responsibility. Applies to all thoughts, feelings, contemplations, and endeavors.
Oh, so true.
Come on. You can't deny that. How are we supposed to evolve if we're not responsible for our thoughts? You know, if I have a thought, he made me think that way. She made me feel that way. What are you talking about?
You made yourself feel that way.
You made yourself feel that way. If you're upset because you made yourself. No one makes you upset.
Those are your emotions.
That's precisely correct.
If you're getting upset, if you're sitting in traffic and you're getting pissed off, I did a video on this because I was like getting angry. And I'm like, this is externally out of my control. And so I am getting an emotion.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotions and I'm getting rage for no freaking reason.
No reason.
It's the dumbest. It's really dumb. It's de-evolving.
Mm-hmm. It's totally de-evolving.
Because instead I could say, okay, I'm stuck in traffic. Well, what podcast can I listen to?
Yeah.
How can I learn right now?
Yeah, what can I do?
I'm stuck here for an hour, so let me learn. I got an hour to learn.
How do I benefit myself in this moment?
Yeah.
I get mad and have no benefit. I can spiral.
But I can take responsibility for me.
Right. And you need to be responsible for contemplating things. And all your actions. You know, people like they claim insanity when they shoot somebody.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? You did it.
You pulled the trigger, yeah.
It's, hands down you. Somebody else buy the gun for you. They put it in your hand. They put a gun to your head and tell you to pull the trigger.
You went against their free will, whether you feel like you're insane or not.
Yeah.
The action that you created was against somebody's free will, so sorry.
Whether you consider it justice or just straight up vengeance, you're stopping someone's free will.
Yeah. Yeah. All this mass shooting and all that stuff, it's the same thing.
Yeah. You're responsible.
Yes.
100%. Okay. All right. Here's a good. I like this one. Folks. Woke folks. Folks should not believe things or statements presented to them. Must always check. Don't believe. Go do the research. That's what we tell people here, even with us. Like, if we're saying something, we're not Again, we're not prophesying. We're not saying like this is the absolute.
No,
Just
I've been wrong 100 times.
go test it out for yourself.
Go find out for you, because what is right for me may not be right for you.
Right. Go be objective about it.
Mm-hmm.
Go tell me what reality is. All right. When you
Your
come,
reality.
Yeah. Bring back some evidence too while you're at it.
Some alien spacecraft evidence.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
I got the saucer shirt on. You had it on yesterday.
I had it on yesterday. They're fantastic shirts.
I know, yeah. Shout out to Saucer.
Great packaging it shows up in too.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get into this here. We got a lot of good stuff coming. Climate change, 50% our fault.
50% our fault.
50% human interaction. The other 50% is nature just having to change.
Right. But the actions that we create against the planet, 100% our fault.
100% our fault. And they said one of the biggest drivers is overpopulation. So imagine if you have billions of people beyond what a planet can support, and they're all making bad decisions.
Yeah.
You exacerbate an issue.
Right.
So if people are still going to make bad decisions, they can't really evolve out of it quickly enough or get the technology to help themselves evolve out of it, what do you do?
Exactly.
Think about how many times a human's got to take a shit a day. How many times I take a shit? Think about that waste. Not even the waste from like packaging, just waste that comes out of my body.
Well, I get Amazon all the time. Look at all those cardboard boxes. I mean, yeah.
Carbon dioxide waste coming out of my lungs.
Yeah.
What happens when you have 7.5 billion people breathing? They all have to eat, sleep, drink, and shit.
Yeah.
At a minimum. You know? Okay. Next. We share ancestry with extraterrestrials. You ready for this? Evas is what they called the mixed race, half extraterrestrials back then. And Yasa called his son Adam. Remember Adam and Eve?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was a half race of extraterrestrial genetics mixed with this evolved, however far the Homo
They called it
sapien
Eva
evolved.
instead of Eve?
They were called Evas.
So the story of creation in the Bible is half right.
Eve singular made it a singular, but actually it was a mixed race.
Which is like when you read the Bible, it's all metaphors. So this is a metaphor for
it's a metaphor
what was really what really happened. Yeah.
Genetic manipulation.
Which they've already proven that we have alien DNA.
They say it's right
Scientists
there.
have said that.
Yeah, they're like, look at this. This is not from here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun. I just love grazing over it because it just debases so much stuff immediately. Oh, this is obvious. We are living wrongly on Earth. So wrongly is an interesting word. I would say we are living how we live on Earth, although the decisions might not be great, and we may be slow to evolve. They're not things aren't wrong.
Right.
Poor
translation. Poor English translation.
It's poor English translation.
Because that's coming from German. Right?
This all comes from German, everybody. So the way this English does a poor job translating. So we all live wrongly on Earth. In the terms of wrongly, the way they view it is like there are creational laws, and if you're not following them, you're not following evolution, and you're actually harming yourself. That's the sense of how they discuss that. Oh, this is great. You know the ancient aliens that they always have on TV and stuff, and they always talk about the Anunnaki? Anunnaki is a myth. They just flat out like, that's it. Anunnaki's a myth. Oh, okay, great. That's awesome.
Did they give an explanation of it? They just say that? And
they said it's just flat out myth. World War II demanded 53,874,328 victims. Victims include those that are murdered and those that were secondary and tertiary association with the effects of the war. Interesting. Think about like displacement, all that other stuff. That's the Holocaust plus,
Russia.
Oh, yeah.
Russia alone was Stalin.
Yeah. Like 12 million or something like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. Earth politics and religions in current form are adverse to nature. I mean, you and I say this. We know this.
Politics and religion, yeah, duh.
Yeah, they don't follow what nature does. If you look at the tree, it would tell you that your religion's lying to you.
Well, look at technology. I mean, it's technology that we have technology that's coming on the scene, and it's just showing how fucked up religion and politics are. Yeah,
it's showing you right out because technology doesn't care; it just is what it is.
Yeah, well, it has to be based off of science and truth.
Yeah.
So it won't work. The technology won't work if it's not truth.
Correct.
So,
but we fight all the time and try and bend it to make things work.
People say, "Well, social media is not working." It's working very well.
Yeah,
too well.
It does exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is interesting. We have to make a global government at some time or another. if their idea around this is that borders are a joke. And if at some point when you actually recognize, value, respect, and have tolerance for other human beings, then you don't need to have multiple governments.
Yeah, I get nervous when they say government. Like a council of our wisest people making decisions, with committees, like scientists from all across the globe getting together like we did with COVID vaccine.
Well, this is how they actually describe the government. They said there's two governments. You have one that handles things that are happening in the global state, and then the other one that helps as like a third party put the checks and balances on the decision is a spiritual committee. And the committee says, does this follow creational laws? Does this align with nature? Does this respect human beings? If it doesn't do this, then it can't be instituted through the government.
Make sense? No, that makes sense. Yeah, because
that's how they have it set
we
up.
Talked about this before, but government is force.
Government is force.
Against humanity. So that's why less government is better, because it's less force on people.
Yeah. Oh, you're like this one. And speaking about force, they said, we must dissolve military that leans towards war and political and military secret services. So the military-industrial complex, they said it has to go away.
Which is in every country.
Every country.
Not just the United States. China has it huge. Russia has it huge.
It's gotta go.
India has a big military.
Well, think about all the problems and the confusion it creates and the waste of money and all that other stuff just to pump out a war machine for control over false borders because somebody thinks they own it. Because either their religion or their state tells them that they do.
The cool part about it is, and I don't want to get too heavy in this, but the cool part about it is we're getting more, we were talking about this as we were driving, but we're getting more where we're not using mass amounts of troops and just, having, okay, here's 1 million troops, here's 1 million troops, here's a big war field, let's go. Yeah. Now we're being more strategic with drones and stuff, and then could we have knocked out Hitler and all his top regime with special forces and not even got, nowadays we could have probably. Yeah. We could have nipped that in the bud in the very beginning.
But also consider the fact that when you become more strategic, more efficient, you also disassociate with human life. I remember I sent you that video on that German guy from World War I who was in the trenches killing the Frenchmen.
Yes.
He said, the second the gun was introduced, the aspect of killing a human being became completely disassociative. He said, when I had to go there and put a bayonet in the stomach of this Frenchman before he did, I actually had to see the fear in his eyes. But now you can shoot someone from hundreds of yards away.
Yeah, and it's almost like a video game, yeah.
It becomes a video game. There's so much disassociation. So because it's strategic and efficient, it actually allows you to escape the reality of what is going on.
Yes.
Why do you think in war they call them an enemy or an insurgent? Why don't they say go kill those human beings? Not one time.
No, they don't. Target, they call it a target.
It's a target?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Target acquired, target destroyed.
Yeah, the philosophy is you want to dehumanize them so that
it makes it okay for people.
Well, you can complete the task.
Yeah, whatever the task is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you consider that, and I don't know. Okay. Remember I was talking to you about the Michael B. Jordan film that came out, the Tom Clancy one?
Yes.
Well, at the end of it, he's, blah, blah, blah. He gets into this point and he says, I want to form something called Rainbow 6. And this was funny. This was actually kind of in...
there was a video game called Rainbow 6.
Yeah. It was also kind of in the second to last Bond film. And it's this right here. We need to form a worldwide team of security and safety agents to replace military from every nation. So all nations need to come together to form a worldwide security team. So much like NATO, it's like everybody has to be a part of NATO. And they all have to share in it for the global defense. Because now if you're all putting your money into one specific defense thing, what are you going to do? Have your own defense thing turn on itself?
Oh, yeah. You have this terrorist and he's going against people's free will and he's just killing people left and right. It's like, oh, okay, well, we'll just send these badass guys out.
Yeah, and it's not for one country to decide to do it. They all have to come together collectively and
say,
make a decision.
Yeah, we need to get rid of this dude. Okay.
It's really interesting how that works.
Yeah, no, that would work.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing that kind of now anyways. Like NATO's doing that. Special forces teams are doing that now where they're interworking with the British and, you'll even have that. They're even doing like Switzerland, Norway, I mean, we have Ukraine, they did some things with Ukrainians, so we're being more we're being more what do you call that? Less divisive when it comes to
inclusive military.
It's a great idea, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea.
As long as it's based off creational laws.
Yeah, and guys, don't just like read it for one sentence. Really, you got to think it through. Creative natural laws, maths, and science should be taught worldwide instead of religion. And exposure to religion should be prevented for anyone under 18.
100%.
That's wild.
I mean, think about how many problems.
Problems kids are formed with programming and they never even had a choice.
Well, that's how I was raised.
You see what I mean?
Programmed. Yeah.
Very interesting. Because after 18, we all have this idea that now you're your own entity. You're doing
I'm Catholic.
Thing. Yeah.
I am Catholic. Like, think about that statement. How are you Catholic?
What do you mean I'm Catholic?
I am. That's a powerful words. And then now you're stating your religion?
You're a human being is what you are.
Yeah.
You're nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not even special. We're all the same.
Yep.
We can all do the same things. We just choose not to. All right. Easter Island had extraterrestrials living alongside locals for a while.
Yeah, well, you can see that. I mean, their faces were not that way.
Yeah. They called them the long ears.
Yeah.
That's how they would describe them.
I mean, there's no way those statues were built just have some person's imagination.
No,
they built those statues
of those people.
Yeah, because they probably they may have worshipped them or something like that.
They did. They ended up worshiping it, and they used all the resources on the island, like the trees and everything like that, to get these stones.
That's a problem. Every time extraterrestrials come down to Earth, we end up worshiping them.
We're going to end up getting into that too on here. Yeah, you're exactly correct. Oh, this is fun. Loch Ness Monster is a real plesiosaurus.
If it's still around.
It's like a giant swimming lizard.
They have such a hard time.
I read in here, they said it's still alive. The Loch Ness is 1,000 feet deep.
Yeah.
890 or 1,000 feet deep. That's deep.
What is, I mean, how long do they plesiosauruses live for? I mean, they would have to breed.
They breed in the deep. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how many there still is around, but
that
would make sense. I mean, if you don't believe that, this always tell people, we have crocodiles still.
We still got sharks.
Yes.
We still got whales.
Yeah. Those were back then.
Yeah. So why couldn't something else that lives way down in the deep still be living?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy.
This one's cool. Elephants have an extraordinarily advanced instinct consciousness and instinct psyche.
I could have told you that. You cannot kill elephants, period.
Stop poaching
anything that has a consciousness or higher intelligence is just the same as a human.
If an elephant can come up and rub me on the back with its trunk and say everything's okay,
yes,
flap its ears and play with
it may not be able to speak English like we can, but it probably has, like you said, I know vibrations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They can pick them up on the ground from miles and miles away.
Instinct consciousness and instinct psyche.
Okay, it has a consciousness. And
if it has a psyche, that means it has some sort of ego. It has it identifies itself.
And there's a lot of animals that have higher consciousness that we need to leave alone.
Dolphins,
orcas, all of that, all of the above. Yeah. Any higher intelligent animal to me is the same as a human.
Yeah, I agree.
Should never be killed.
We human beings must clean up forests, meadows, water, our atmosphere, and damage to plants, humans, animals, and microorganisms.
100%.
Must. Got to go do it. If you don't, we're just going to add to that 50% problem.
I think when all these old fuckers die, I was telling you that earlier, then this young generation has their number one concern is climate stability.
Be clear about the old people. Who are they?
Well, these white privileged
politician or super
the ones
rich.
That are all about shareholder value only.
Yep. Control, power.
Yeah, I don't give. The Charlie.
We're not talking about
Charlie Munger. What did he say about Bitcoin?
Oh, disgusting. He said it's disgusting, and it's something.
We need centralized banks.
Yeah, it's.
We can't decentralize anything. Give the power to the people, really?
No, we need to take it all back.
Especially money. We're not going to give the power of money to people.
Yeah,
we control money. That's how we make it.
Once the Charlie Mungers phase out,
yeah,
it'll give us a new opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. You're going to like this one. There's no Jesus Christ.
There's no Jesus Christ.
That name it's a falsification.
Well, I could see. I mean, Jesus. The word Jesus is Yeshua, which is Joshua in Hebrew. So there could have been. I mean, Raw talks about Jesus. There could have been
they call it
just a dude, a fourth. Didn't Raw say he was their fourth entity?
Upper fourth.
Yeah, he was just a guy that was talking about love.
Well, the Billy Meier material, they say that Billy Meier is a reincarnation of this individual called Emmanuel, and Emmanuel was the falsification.
That's God with us.
Jesus, Jesus Christ is what the Pharisees falsified and coined as this gentleman Emmanuel that was walking around. It was the previous life of Billy Meier.
That would make sense, yeah.
Next one.
Love this.
There's no God. No big G.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy.
Yeah. They're just hammering on this. Next one. Bible is extensively falsified.
Yeah, it's over. You can just read it.
Yeah, and even Ross said, 30% of it has truth?
Yeah.
They gave like some percentage factor.
Well, any book is going to be that way. You know, I mean, you have 66.
You know
the Bible is composed of 66 books with
it's one
thousands of years, and
it's one of the top sold books.
Yeah.
So you're essentially a falsification that's been around for how long?
We did a whole podcast on the Bible and
how you should read it,
mythology and all that.
Right, correct. Yeah. This one's good. Reincarnation is real. Okay.
Well, that's just creational law.
Yeah, I know. Here's the next one. We have a spirit. I love these definites are fantastic. Oh, this one's going to fucking shake people up. There's no possible contact with the dead. It's not possible to contact the dead.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We even did an episode on that. We were talking about that. And I was thinking, you know, like we were talking about because I thought about this the other day. We were talking about that hypnotic. Joe Rogan was talking about that. You know how people they'll do for like alien spaceships, and then the hypnotist comes in there and is like kind of feeds them in that state, that subconscious state. So they, you know, actually we've had dreams real enough where we, you know, I mean, even though the dream state could be just as much reality as we are, but you know, it happened. You have to separate the two. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you could say in my dream state I did this, but you know, to say I was awake and Hitler came and saw me and I had a conversation with him and drank tea with him. Yeah, no. You know, you can't say that. So, but that gets all mixed up, and then people, they can actually believe stories. Or what is people that lie and actually believe it? Like you can put them in a lie detector test.
They're called you know pathological liars.
Yeah.
They believe they believe the lie that they live.
So this makes sense because dead people
are dead.
Well, like if you really, really want to believe that you love this person, they come to talk to you, it's so comforting.
Yeah, and they also state that your consciousness is so attached to that idea of identity. The spirit of that dead person does not identify. It's just spirit. But
it's so weird, you know, I mean, because like when I met a good friend of mine, we when we met for the first time, we both said, like, this is fucking weird. Like, we've know each other.
Right.
Like, we've never met each other.
That's a knowing.
I mean, she's like 21 and I'm 47. And we were like, we already know each other.
Yeah, correct.
Because I was like, when I started talking to her, because we met for the first time and it was weird. And then the second time we met, I was like, I'm going to ask you something. Did you feel this way when we first met? And she was like, I know. She's like, it's the weirdest thing. So it's like, it's funny how I think there's that maybe past life regression or whatever you want to call it.
There's a whole other column of stuff which will help also describe this. I don't really want to jump ahead. And I don't think these are any specific order here.
Right.
But no possible contact with the dead. What happens is if I call myself Alexander and I die, that identity of Alexander was only for the time I was in the material. When I move into the spirit,
yes,
it's just energy. So when you're saying, oh, I'm still contacting this person with this name, well, no, you're not. You're not actually speaking with the dead person. They're dead. The physical ego and all that stuff has died. The thing you communicate with is energy in the spirit.
I wonder what Ross says about that. That would be interesting.
In the spiritual, I haven't even looked it up.
Yeah.
I've never even seen this list.
We'll do an episode on that.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Some biblical stories happened, but were distorted.
Oh, of course. Any story is that way.
Okay.
How long does this, I mean, even look at, I love reading the Norse gods and all that stuff. How many of those stories are, yeah, right? Really?
Yeah, I know.
You had antler heads on and you went and, you know, you breathed and through your breath, you killed 5,000 people.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Stop that.
This is a story going on, but the story is still beautiful.
It's distorted. They just make it artistic.
Mythology has meaning. Joseph Campbell. Next.
Precisely correct. This one's fantastically obvious. Meditation helps calm you down. Breathing exercises help your health. Duh. And it's so funny, people still don't do it. I need to calm down. Okay, go meditate. If I want to improve my health, go meditate.
Yeah, the Andrew Huberman, top neuroscientist at Stanford, they hooked people's brains, like hundreds of people's brains, and then they were doing breath work and then seeing what happened in their brain. And you've seen this, but this is a recent study, and they found out to reset your brain from sympathetic to parasympathetic, and doing all that, that 2 quick breaths in and then 1 long out, that can reset you. And they were showing it in the brain how quick. It's like a little quick thing.
I just looked at you and I got all upset, and then I did the double breath. And I'm better now.
This guy's an asshole. Oh, no, he's not that bad. He's okay.
He's a human being. Yeah. All good. And speaking of that, we'll be back for part who knows what of what.